So I'm working on the Jaggernaut today, and I need a little bracket. This is to hold my fuel line in place. And I went to bend this, and one of the issues I ran up against, when you're bending metal, this was sticking straight up, and I wanted to bend it nice and flat. Well, how do you bend it with a hammer when it's sticking up like that to get it laid nice and flat? I took a wood block and just tapped into the wood block until it started laying over. Once it got over far enough, I could tap it with a hammer. You can use wood block to tap it all the way over if you want, or just use the hammer. That's how I get that nice clean edge on there on my bends. I'll start it off with the wood block and just hammer that sideways. So a little quick trip there, a little quick trick there. And now I'm working on bending some tubing. I need a piece. This is for the trunk to go from the firewall in the trunk to the fuel pump. And as you can see, as soon as I started bending it, it kinked. Now some would say, here's your problem. But actually what the issue is when you stick the line through here to bend it, as you start to bend, it pulls the tubing through. So how do you stop that from happening? Well, you can spend the money and buy a better bender, or I've got a little Dell clamp. This is one size smaller than what you would normally use for this size tubing. I've gotten my next bend marked, so let's see how it goes. All right, so it's not the most beautiful bend, but it didn't kink. And there you go. That's how you keep your tubing from bending in your cheap bender. So I'm just going to pull this Dell clamp off, and I'll use it again for the next week or so as I'm actually doing 3 runs of fuel tubing in the Jaggernaut, steel tubing with bulkhead fittings where it's got to pass through stuff. I'm trying to get this all done nice and neat and secure, strong and serviceable. So yep, we'll see how it goes. I should also note that on my tubing bender here, you see it's got this is the Pittsburgh version you get at Harbor Freight for like 10 bucks, 20 bucks, I don't know. You notice I got this plate added on this side. You have the arm on this side, and this side is open so you can get the tubing in. But what I found is it tends to flex outward and lose grip on your tubing. So I've added this plate. I drilled out these were riveted on. I drilled out the rivets and put bolts in place with some lock nuts, and it works very well for, I don't have that time, but it works very well for keeping that from flaring outward and losing your tubing. So I recommend doing that little upgrade on your tubing bender also. That's how I make the 90-degree bends with this tool without wrecking the tubing all the time. Hope you learned something.